Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us for our topic, Crucial Need for Cybersecurity and Resilient Data Infrastructure. And this is going to be a government keynote, and it is by Dr. Bushra Al-Blooshi, the Head of Research and Innovation, Dubai Electronic Security Center, UAE. Well, Dr. Bushra is the Deputy Director of the Information Services Department in Dubai Electronics Security Center. She's somebody who's worked in organizations such as ANOC and RTA, where she managed different project teams and worked closely with business departments to strategically automate their manual processes. Also, I'd request the audience to please use the Q&A tab to post any questions during this session. It'll be picked up at the end of the session if time allows. With this, I'd now like to invite Dr. Bushra to join us on the stage and screen. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the great introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to open up this session today. My name is Bushra Blooshi, and I'm the Head of Research and Innovation in Dubai Electronic Security Center. Allow me just to share my screen for 1 minute, please. So with the increase and the huge shift to the digital transformation, cybersecurity becomes a very important and crucial element in order to guarantee the continuity of the businesses and the services that government and the critical national infrastructure are providing for their community. We noticed a global increase in the rate of the cybercrime, and there had been new types of attacks targeting new sectors that we never expected, such as attacks targeting research centers and attacks targeting vaccine manufacturers. Such attacks were never been expected prior to the pandemic. We need to utilize the pandemic as an opportunity for all of us to innovate, to bring new technologies and new techniques, and to put new solutions to prevent cyber attacks targeting those technologies and targeting the digital transformation that happened in a few months. So in this session today, I would like to highlight the importance of having a proper cyber resilience plan and a strategy across countries to guarantee the continuity of the services, businesses, and economies at the end of the day. I would like to answer 3 main questions before I dig deeper and give an example of a critical information infrastructure strategy that we launched here in Dubai. The first question I would like to highlight and I would like to answer, what is...
I'm so sorry to intervene. Just the slides are not showing any content on them. Would you like to help me rectify that for your convenience?
So you can see the slides, but without content?
Yes, yes. Apologies on that. I can just see the red panel right now on the screen and basically the red background slide, but there's no content on it. Would you like to just stop the screen share and maybe restart it, Pam?
Yeah, sure, I can do so.
Apologies on that. I just didn't want your, presentation.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, it is all happening at the World Cybersecurity Summit, and we're joined by Dr. Bushra. And right now, we're on our first opening keynote, and that's the government keynote by Dr. Bushra. So, we're just yes, I think from now we can try and get the screen share done again, and we hope to, for all our attendees, to get as much information from Dr. Bushra.
You can see my screen right now?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see it?
Yeah. If you can just play it so I can just confirm. Yes, now perfect.
Okay, very good. So what I was just saying, that before digging deeper into the cyber resilience plan and cyber strategy plan that we developed in Dubai, I would like to highlight 3 main questions. Those are the core questions that I think we need to answer as governments, regulators, and nations in any pandemic situation. First of all, what is cyber resilience strategy? And do we need a cyber resilience strategy besides to a proper cybersecurity strategy? So the answer to this question is actually cyber resilient is a purely business-driven plan and a strategy to guarantee the resilience of the core services of the country, regardless the attacks and the disruption that might impact those services. And I'm going to explain further about this point and how we in Dubai were able to develop our cyber resilience strategy with the regulators and with the sector leads in the city. Then why it is important to develop proactive measures in the cyberspace. So when I'm saying proactive measures, those are the measures that the country or a city or a regulator will prepare before the pandemic and before any crisis happens. A good example of that is what UK and CSC did with the active cyber defense program. So those are the measures that regulators, country, nations should develop and should make sure that they are in place before any pandemic or any crisis happens. Then the third important question that I would like to highlight and answer, how to maintain. So let's assume that I have a cyber resilience strategy and I have proper proactive measures that are put in place. Then how I can maintain a sustainable, resilient infrastructure across different critical national infrastructure sectors within a country or within a city. Then,
Dr. Bushra, I'm so sorry to intervene again. Well, the slide is still showing just cyber resilience strategy and plan, and the content is still not reflecting. So only the top is showing. So I think we'll have to rectify it. Basically,
it's okay. I can go over it as long as my explanation is clear. Sure. Otherwise, I can move to the next slide. You can see this slide, for example.
No, ma'am. So we can just see cyber resilience strategy and plan written right now. We can't see the content. So what I would recommend is, in case if it's not working in SlideShare, maybe you could be in the full screen, and we can take you forward with that without the SlideShare for the viewers.
Just let me try one more thing. I will share the whole screen. Maybe that will work better. So you can see it now.
I can see it now, but yeah, when you start the SlideShare, that's when the content disappears for some reason.
Then I can just keep it without full screen. Yeah. So you can see the content right now?
Right now I can see.
Perfect. So the third question I was just highlighting is how to maintain a sustainable, resilient infrastructure across critical national infrastructure. So let's say that I have a proper cyber resilience plan, then I have the proactive measures that has been developed. Then what is next? I think it's very important to have a clear operational plan across the different sector leads and across the different critical sectors within a city or within a country in order to make sure that we are ready for the next pandemic and we are ready for the next crisis. And one more element that is really important in the operational plan is to have proper crisis management exercises like tabletops, for example. With that, I think we will have more confidence when the crisis or the pandemic happens next time. So those are the three main questions that I would like to start my presentation with. Now, I would like to give you a brief about what we did in Dubai, how we achieved our cyber resilience strategy, what was the methodology that we followed with the government entities. So Dubai Electronic Security Center has been established in 2014, and we are responsible for about 100 plus government and semi-government entities when it comes to cybersecurity domain. So in 2017, we issued our cybersecurity strategy that consists of 5 main domains, and cyber resilience was one of the core domains in that strategy. So when I'm saying critical information infrastructure, what is that? How we can define it? So critical information infrastructure, at the end of the day, they are physical and virtual information. So they are not cyber systems, or they are not IT systems at the end of the day. They are the physical or the virtual information assets that support the sustainability of the critical functions and services within a city. The incapacity and destruction of those services would have a huge impact on the society and the economy. Before we developed our cyber resilience strategy, we did a benchmark with a couple of countries like US, UK, EU, Singapore, and Australia. Based on that, we came out with our model and our strategy for the city of Dubai. So in any cyber resilience strategy, you need to start from top down rather than bottom up. So we started with identifying the critical sectors from the business point of view rather than cyber or technical point of view. So what are those critical sectors that we need to identify and we need to maintain, and we need to make sure that they are resilient enough and they should function regardless whatever attacks or distractions or disruptions that might happen. So we started with identifying the critical sectors first in the city of Dubai. Then we dig deeper into identifying the services in each sector. And then after that, after we finished identifying sectors, services, we moved to identify the protection plan. So now I know my sectors, I know my services, and I know the gaps. Then we developed a plan to secure the critical information infrastructure in the city of Dubai. So in our case, for example, we identified 11 critical sectors for the city of Dubai: ICT, transportation, oil and gas, health, finance and banking, emergency services, electricity and water, government, industry, real estate and tourism, trade. So the last two, real estate and tourism, plus the trade, we didn't see it in the benchmark or in the countries that we benchmarked at the beginning of our planning exercise. But they are important sectors for the city of Dubai. So real estate, tourism, plus the trade, they are really crucial for the economy of the city of Dubai. That's why we consider them as main core critical sectors within the city of Dubai. So after we finished identifying the critical sectors in the city, then we met with each sector lead and we spent substantial time with them in order to align with them that those are the services that might impact the city of Dubai. Those are not the services that will impact you as an entity at the end of the day. So you will notice even in your country that you will have business continuity plan at the entity level, but the aggregation and the consolidation of those plans to become, let's say, a city level plan, this is, I think, what we are missing in the Middle East in general. So this is an example of a critical service that we identified for water and electricity, for example. And we spent lots of time with water and electricity sector lead in order to identify, in order to come out with this high level, let's say, services that supports water and electricity sector. At the end of the day, when you're talking about water and electricity, it's about generation, transmission, and distribution. And from there, then we aggregated those services to identify the systems that support them, to identify the business continuity plan and the disaster recovery plan that the entity is following to maintain those systems and services. And then we identified the gaps that we need to improve over the years in order to create the sustainable services that shouldn't disrupt regardless whatever attacks that might be introduced. After we finished with identifying the sectors, services supporting those sectors, systems supporting the services, then we moved to identify the interdependencies. So what are the sectors or services that are independent of the main or critical services that we identified? Let's take again the example of water and electricity. As you can see, water and electricity is a very important, crucial sector, and the services they offer are very important and crucial to all other sectors within the critical national infrastructure. So if we don't have water and electricity, then the whole services within the city or within the country will be impacted, and those are the interdependencies that we identified in our case. So emergency will be impacted if water and electricity are disrupted. Oil and gas, transportation, aviation, government, emergency, and health. So after that, after we identified the gaps, after we identified the interdependency, services, and sectors, we moved to identifying the operational plan. Now, how we should work together in order to improve the gaps and in order to close them over the years. So we are still following up with the sector leads, and we are still identifying the exact activities that we need to do in each and every year to improve the gaps that we have right now. The operational plan will include the sector profile, main services, interdependencies, and sector risks and gaps. Besides to that, the identifications of the critical national infrastructure has been a core element within all activities and initiatives that we are having in the center. So we launched Dubai Cyber Index, which is basically a complete monitoring system that connects government entities with our security operations center. And that index rates the performance of each and every entity and gives an accurate live figures where are the entities in terms of incident response and in terms of their preparation and readiness to combat cyber crimes. And we tackled the critical sectors or sector leads when we started this initiative. Those are some of the policies and standards that we issued also for our critical national infrastructure to make sure that we are having correct minimum business or cyber requirements to the critical services that we are having in the city. So we've been the first country to issue standards on the IoT security, biomedical devices security, autonomous vehicles, ICS security, cloud service provider certification scheme, plus web security. So if you would like to know more about our activities, services, and if you would like to access those standards, then you can contact us through those means. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope I added value to the experience and knowledge that you all have as experts in this group.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bushra, for giving us your valuable time and joining us today. We really like to thank you once again. Thank you so much.